it's Abby Andrew back here on the René Parish channel for another live stream today. Today's live stream I'm really excited about because it's a type of live stream, a type of live segment that I haven't personally done in a little bit, that I haven't hosted, and it's going to be a Wigs surprise. Now, if you're not familiar with our lives, we typically have a few different types of live streams we do. We have our Get Ready With Me's, where I have a guest come on and they walk me through a makeup look. Sometimes we just have interviews, Q&As, but our Wig surprise segment, which is what I'm doing today, is one where we have a guest come on who will be joining in just a moment, but we send them a wig that they don't know what we're sending them, and they get to open it live on camera and give their reactions in real time. So I'm super excited about that. It's always so fun to see people's reactions because hopefully they like it, but we shall see, and that's the fun of it, is getting to do the big reveal. So super exciting. So the guest that will be joining us today is Fabricating Fringe. I won't give too much of an introduction because she can help to introduce herself when she gets here, but if you're not familiar with her channel, she's also someone who has a type of alopecia that we'll discuss more when she joins. But she also deals with hair loss, as do I. If you're not familiar with me, I have alopecia myself, so right now I'm wearing a wig, of course. I'm totally bald underneath. I do have hair patches myself because I have alopecia areata. So that is something we'll probably talk about a bit once she's here during the Q&A section, is that we do have two different types of alopecia. So it is interesting to kind of compare and contrast because for the most part, once you have any patches of hair missing, you're pretty much having the same experience to a degree. Because once you have patches missing, that is what might lead you to look into things like toppers or wigs, essentially. And again, they're not essential, but it is something that people do consider once they do start to lose their hair. So in my case, I do love to wear wigs, and sometimes I do rock the look without them as well. So yeah, and if you're curious about the wig I'm wearing right now, this is Stevie from Amore. This is one of my favorite go-to wigs. And by go-to wig, I mean a wig that I just pretty much wear on like a daily basis and just pretty much wear regularly. Like I have certain wigs that are kind of like more high fashion that I only tend to wear when I'm a bit more done up and glamorous, and then some wigs that I will just like get out of bed, quickly throw the wig on and go out to the store, go out to work or whatever I'm doing on a given day. So let me just check in and see. Oh, there we go. Hello.
Hi. Good, how are you?
I'm good. Okay, so I'll give you like a brief introduction and then you can introduce yourself as well. But for those of you who aren't familiar with her, I'm sure you probably already are, but this is Fabricating Fringe, also known as Amber. So yeah, welcome. Thank you so much for joining today. I'm super excited for this. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Thank you for having me. Well, those who follow me know me. I started my Instagram in 2016, and at that time I was wearing toppers. That's what kind of gave me the desire to start talking about it, because I had discovered like wigs and stuff in 2011 because I had my third baby and I was going through massive amounts of shedding, but I had never really understood or grasped what a topper was. So what was it, 2000, yeah, the beginning of 2016, I finally purchased one, and I was it kind of gave me that like aha moment where I was, playing with the realistic scalp. In fact, I got my first topper was Noriko Milan, and I loved it so much. And so it blew me away. At that time, I was quite secretive about my alternative hair wearing. And so I made sure to always wear something that blended with my biological hair. I still felt that kind of like taboo feeling, but there was this part of me that wanted to talk about it, and I wanted to scream to the world what was helping me, and what was just all the different things that I had discovered and the different techniques I was using to just give me the hair that I always wanted but always struggled to achieve. So that's kind of how the whole Fabricating Fringe thing started, and yeah, now here we are today. At the time, okay, so like I was saying, I did the wigs in 2011. I kind of got into that. Then once I found toppers, I was like, I'm never going back to wigs. Like, why would I go back to wigs? I can wear toppers with my hair. Mm-hmm. And then once I started to get more open about changing my style and the colors and exploring all the different options that are out there, I was like, okay, if I'm going to wear alternative hair, I'm going to have like so much fun. And
Embrace all of it.
yes, embrace all of it. And if I'm going to put on some fake hair, I'm going to be able to be a blonde one day, a redhead the next day, and
Yes.
just have a blast. And so not only is it so fun, but it's convenient. There's so many choices. It's definitely a way to express yourself, your style, your preference, like just everything. And people go into it, a lot of people go into it because they feel like they're forced to, or they feel like it's something they have to do, and they feel bad about it. But I think my whole goal is to talk about like how awesome it is and how non-taboo it has to be, because whether you have hair loss or not, people are wearing them, you know, and
Absolutely.
it's fun. So anyway, I'm going like this. Sorry.
No, I love it. This is great. And everything you said is like ringing so true for me as well, because I've had a lot of very similar experiences, and I wouldn't be surprised if many other people who have experienced hair loss and have social media profiles have had the same experience as well. I think many of us go through a phase where we're a little secretive about it and self-conscious. And then for me, I don't know if this was the same for you, but it was like when I was more closed off about it, I felt a little bit isolated. And then once I realized there was this amazing alopecia or hair loss and wig community on platforms like Instagram, it was like a whole new world. Like I can't relate to anyone in my real life with hair loss issues, but then realizing that there's this whole family on social media, basically, it was just such a game changer.
And what I've discovered too is those who don't wear alternative hair, they've never really delved into it. Maybe they just have finer hair, or they witness the ease and the change, or the perfect hair day that we can obtain easily every single day throughout this whole journey. Me being more open and just like excited about the whole thing actually creates like these people who are not in the community and who are watching be like, geez, I want to wear a wig. Like,
right?
you know, like I
love.
have family members and stuff, and they're just like, I want one. Like, this isn't fair. You know, I'll go on vacations and just throw on a wig or throw on a top or something, and I'll be ready. And they're all curling their hair, getting ready to go. And it's just, you know, or for instance, my mother-in-law, she was in the hospital in October and for a while, and she's like, I just felt so gross. I didn't I didn't do my makeup, I didn't do my hair, I didn't do anything. And I'm like, that's the nice part, is if you wear in a wig, you can be in your hospital bed and pop on like some pretty hair and feel part human, you know, like regardless, I mean, whether the hair's on or not, you're fine. But if you feel like you want to throw on that hair and feel put together, you can, and it's so easy and convenient. And that's part of the liberating thing that I totally love.
Yeah, that's something I definitely love about it too, because I feel like if I had a full head of hair of my own, I feel like I would be a little lazy with it, and it just would never look as good as my wigs look, and just like the effortless factor. But yeah, if you wouldn't mind, I just want to rewind just a little bit, just to give a little bit of background on the type of alopecia you have and like when you developed it and all that, for anyone who's watching who's not familiar with your story.
Okay, so I feel like I'm repetitive because I've talked about my story, but for those who haven't seen, or for those who have, it's been a while. So I've had thin hair my whole life. Like I have my story up on Instagram, and I have photos of myself when I was a baby, a toddler, 5 years old, and I always had like the most feathery, fine hair. I had like, I always joke about it, but like I had a natural pixie when I was going into kindergarten, but it wasn't because it was cut that way. It's because it was just barely coming in, and you know, and yeah, it's just very fine and soft and lightweight. I don't know. And then as I didn't notice my hair as a child, it didn't bother me. I don't think we really noticed those things, or I don't know. I felt like it was fine. But when I got older, in my teen years, there was things that I couldn't do with my hair that I wanted to do because of I didn't have a lot of it. My hairline, just everything about it limited what I wanted to do, different things that were in style around that time. I felt like it never grew either. I felt like if I styled my hair every day, used heat tools on it, if I put any color on my hair, any chemicals at all, it would break off. So my hair grows longer now that I wear alternative hair, although it's stringier than it was when I was younger.
Yeah.
When I was younger, it didn't grow. I always had a bang that I didn't cut because it was breakage. I always had like little hairs up here, like a mullet, because of breakage. And that was just doing my hair every day to go to school, you know? And then I did go to beauty school. I started going to beauty school when I was a junior in high school, because I always loved hair. I always loved playing with hair, doing hair. And it was something that, like, my mom felt like I had a knack for it, and I found joy in it. But I love doing other people's hair, but when I would try to turn around and do my own, it was frustrating because I couldn't do what I wanted to do on my hair because of the lack of it. And then when I would try to do highlights, they would break. It was just very, very frustrating. So around that time, when I was in beauty school, early 2000-ish, I discovered wefted extensions. And not a lot of people were doing it here where I am, but I found a gal who could do it. And when she sewed in those extensions, I think I was, let's see, when did I get my first set of extensions? I must have been like a sophomore or a junior, maybe a junior. Prior to the extensions, though, I would go get like little pieces. I would go get like the buns and the spiky things. And I was always clipping in pieces to add to my hair. At one point, there was those like clip-in ponytails that were really big with the claw clip. I did that. I just wanted additional hair because I didn't have a lot of it. And so then I did extensions of every kind. I learned how to do extensions. I went from the wefts to the tapes to the halo. I love the halo for those who have like beginning stages of hair loss, or they want to just add additional length and bulk, because the halo extension is just like less damaging. But one thing I did with my Noriko Milan, because I was new to the topper, was I would pair my topper with a halo extension. And I love that. So I'd wear, and the funny thing, my halo extension was human hair and my Noriko Milan was synthetic. And then I had my hair all mixed in between, but it all blended well. I just kind of stuck with, you know, a solid brunette shade, and nobody knew. That was the craziest thing about it, is like my mom knew that I had thin hair my whole life. I've talked about this story before too. Like, she knows that I've never had a thick head of hair. And she never discovered that I was wearing wigs until one day I just came out and told her. And I was wearing a basic cap too. Like, my first few wigs were basic cap. I would just like shimmy out the edges of my bio hair all the way around and mix in my hair with it, kind of like a topper. And I felt like I wanted to tell somebody, because I'm a very open, expressive person. And I was just keeping it in. I just thought, you know, and it was awesome because I could plop it on. It was quick. I had bangs. I had all this hair, but nobody knew. And I felt like I couldn't say anything. And so there was one day I was at my mom's house and I was like, Mom, I'm wearing a wig. And she's like, huh? You know, and so she was just shocked, and I'm like, how can you not tell? This is thick. What are you?
It's definitely a testament to how realistic looking it is, but
So that kind of gave me, that was the indicator that the majority of people out there do not detect a thing. They don't know. So I think that people who are new into hair wearing, they feel like people are going to be looking at them, that it sticks out like a sore thumb, that I don't know, but if people notice you, if you feel like they're watching, it's because they want hair like you.
Yeah, it's like the hairstyle.
They love your hair. That's what the deal is. They want it.
Exactly.
And that's why they're watching. So
I love that. Wow.
Anyway.
So you got to experiment with so many different types of like hair, alternative hair.
Yeah. So I just had the thin hair. I keep going off on different subjects, but so through my teens, and then I just had fine hair. I remember when I was going to beauty school, we actually took a field trip to a wig shop, a bunch of different wig shops, because that was part of our education. And I remember looking at the natural scalp areas on that, and I was blown away. I was like, what? But back then, when I was there, I associated like all wig wearing with just like, oh, you wear a wig if, you know, only if you're like a grandma, or only if you have to because of like medical reasons, you know. And that was my take on it. I would have never thought back then when I was going on those field trips, looking at wigs and that I would be here in my mid 30s, like obsessed with them.
Yeah.
You
It's so
know,
funny,
and
all these stigmas that we kind of just adopt over the years,
yeah,
media,
yeah. And
or
what
just
I,
from whatever it comes from,
yeah,
without realizing it's not
and
what it seems.
I love that they're more mainstream now. I love that, you know, you
Exactly.
see
Yeah.
like the celebrities and everybody just plopping them on and embracing it. And I feel like that makes everybody else be like, okay, well, if I can throw on extensions, I can throw on this,
Hmm.
I can do this. I don't have to dye my hair pink. I can throw on that pink wig
Yes,
and
I love
not
that.
you know, it's just
Hmm.
not damage my hair. I feel like it's becoming more acceptable, more people are finding that it's actually cool. It's fun.
Definitely,
It's
yeah. I
a
feel like they're
fun
definitely
thing.
a fashion.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think it's changed in
It's
a way that I feel
trendy.
like they always will be, because it's like the stigmas are now broken, and now it's like
Uh-huh.
anyone
In
can
a
wear
lot
them
of,
because they're fun.
yeah, not just wigs, but like in a lot of things. And so I think just right now it's such a great time for that type of growth. And
Yeah.
I love being in the community and kind of in the middle of it and watching it evolve, because even in 2016 when I opened my Instagram account, I remember following every wig brand page and every person that was sharing
Hmm.
their journey, and there weren't a lot. There weren't a
Yeah.
lot just into like, so when was that? Like 6 years, 6-ish or 6-7 years ago.
Hmm.
Anyway, and just within that time, within a matter of 3 to 5 years, like the growth of like the community and people just talking about it openly and finding joy in it and expressing themselves has skyrocketed, and it's been amazing to watch, and it's
It's
been
incredible.
incredible to be kind of part of, and I feel like
Definitely. Yeah.
really honored to be
Mhm.
here and be involved with it.
It's
So
yeah, absolutely. And what you were saying, how it kind of grew exponentially. I feel like it's because each account that started talking about it openly probably inspired a handful of other accounts, which then went
yeah,
on to inspire a handful of other people, to the point where it
yes,
just became this really big and really welcoming community on social media.
yeah. I think that I think the more the merrier, because who I resonate with or who feels like they can relate to me, that's gonna make them feel empowered. Like I can do this too. I'm not alone. And then the next person might share, and their story, the way that they express themselves, the way that they share their self, they're gonna reach the next people, you know, or
Yeah.
that person or this. And so I just feel like every story and every experience matters, and it can, you really never realize who you're impacting, whether they express it to you, whether you find out, whether they comment, like, whether they openly follow you. Maybe they're, you know, you just really never know who you are influencing. And not, I mean, I don't know if influencing would be the word. I don't know if I like that really. I just think what I like
Inspiring
is
is a great, I think.
inspiring. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
like the influence word. I think it's inspiring.
Hmm.
Yeah, just inspiring and making people feel like um, normal and
Yeah.
empowered and excited and just all those good things.
100%. I absolutely love that. And I keep saying this, but I just feel like the community is so welcoming, and I feel like everyone kind of like follows each other back. It's almost like everyone's
Yeah,
just a little
yeah, I
tight-knit
think the
community.
support is awesome. I think it's so
Hmm.
great, and um, it's a good, it's great. It's good,
Yeah,
it's great. But
absolutely.
but yeah, so I keep, this is me like when I'm having a conversation go off all over the place. But as far as my diagnosis goes, once I started having kids and stuff, I started losing my hair, the postpartum shedding, which I know is really normal, but because I didn't have a lot of hair to start out with, it was
Hmm.
drastic. And I think
The
what was hard
combination of the
too,
two, yeah.
yeah. And I think what was really hard too was when people who were close to me would make comments. I think, you know, like
Oh.
my mom. And
Hmm.
it wasn't that she
Yeah.
was trying to be like rude or anything. It was more like she
Didn't
was
always
pointing out,
realize the impact, yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
she was pointing out what I was already know, what I already knew, but it made her feel bad. And so it made me feel worse. So she's like,
Yeah.
"Oh my gosh, your hair." Oh, you know, and I'm like, you know,
Hmm.
and I remember always wearing my hair up, always. I never, all through high school, if I didn't have extensions in, if I didn't have a hat on, my hair was up because that was an easier way to hide it, I guess. And then when I was shedding the hair after having babies and stuff, I'd put accessories in, big headbands, things to hide like the front area, the hairline, the perimeter. Um, and then I don't know, I started adding like a bang. I would add a bang up front to help with like that lack of hair up front. And just always clipped in things, pinned things in. When I would go to dances in high school, I would actually like create my own little pieces so that I could,
Oh, wow.
'cause once I would pull my hair up, there'd be like nothing up here to work with. And so I would add like extra leftover extensions and glue them to a clip. So I was just always trying to be innovative and come up with ways that I could wear my hair and have more of it. But it wasn't until I went to my OBGYN and he was like, yeah, you have androgenic alopecia. And then it was reconfirmed a few years later when I went to my dermatologist, and he's like, yeah, you have androgenic alopecia. You just have, you know, female pattern hair loss. And then you go through bouts of telogen effluvium. Your hair's finicky. And so whether it be weight loss, having a baby, stress, anything of that matter, you'll go into shedding along with just that genetically thin, fine hair that will probably continue to get finer and thinner as you get older. And so that,
and I guess that's something interesting to mention too, is just the different types of alopecia that are out there. So
uh-huh.
androgenic alopecia, and I have alopecia areata, so I just have like patches. But yeah, and then it's interesting how even though we have the different types, we have a lot of similarities in our stories as well in terms of our experimenting with different forms of alternative hair and our confidence journeys and all that. But if you don't mind, I would love to hear more about you. You mentioned how you used to be really secretive about wearing hair pieces, and then one day you felt like you had to tell your mom, but then I guess she was the only one that knew, and now you have this platform where you're really open about it. So what were kind of like the steps that led you there, and like what was like, was there any specific breaking point that you were like, I need to start sharing this with the world?
Well, so I was even weird about it with my husband. Like when I met him, I had thick extensions in, and they didn't even match my bio hair. Like they were kind of rougher. But the funny thing is I knew that he liked long hair. And so when I took him out, or no, I felt like I needed to like confess something when I told him, you know, because I was like, okay, I need to take these out and he's going to be shocked, you know. I remember telling him, hey, guess what? So this isn't mine. And he was just one of those very simple, like, wait, what? You can put hair that's not yours in your hair? What?
Like he's more impressed by the fact that extensions exist.
Yeah, he had no clue. And he's like, I wonder why it felt like horse's hair. Like, it was all rough. It's like just not the texture of my very fine, feathery hair. Anyway, I took him out and he's like, it's fine. And I started wearing my hair up because there's not much of it. And I appreciate the fact that he liked my hair up. So I can see your face better, you know, and all this stuff.
Yeah.
But I felt like I needed hair. I don't know, you know, you put those because I never had it, that I needed it. And anyway, so there was that. He evolved with me when it comes to hair additions because I always loved them and always wore them and always wanted them. And so I always had some sort of piece in, and he just didn't know when I did and when I didn't had something in, because my biggest thing was making it look undetectable and just having it mesh with my hair. And and so, excuse me, I'm like, my family's getting over colds, so I'm clearing my throat a lot.
Yeah, no problem.
But, anyway, okay, I'm losing my train of thought.
Just about your journey about like how you slowly became more open with it.
Okay. So, I think, I saw someone wear a wig just for fun. I remember seeing someone wear a wig for fun, and I was like, that's a wig? Oh my gosh, she looks so good with, it was like a little red bob. And that kind of perked my interest because I was wearing hats every day. I love hats still because I think it's a fun, I'm a hat girl. I think they're really a fun way of accessorizing. I wear them with alternative hair, but there was a time when I first started wearing alternative hair when I had that aha moment that I boycotted hats because I had worn them for so long. I felt like I couldn't go anywhere without a hat, and I had hats of every kind, whether it be like fancy, a ball cap, every kind of beanie, every kind of like fedora, like just, you know, sun hats, every hat you can think of, because I just didn't want to deal with my hair. It was so hard to do. And then when I would do it and spend so much time on it, I was never satisfied with it. And so the hats kind of took care of that problem. And then I was able to add hair underneath it, extensions, and have the hair. I don't know. I just liked it better. I felt more secure that way. And and then I went to a wig shop, local wig shop, and they had a few budget wigs that I purchased, and they were basic cap. But I remember like having that, oh my goodness, I love this. I love this. And but it was a mixture of, I love this. I love the way that I have a bang that I didn't have before. You know, they were always stringy, and I have this bulk and stuff. And yet I don't want to tell anybody. And so I stuck with the brunettes because I was born like a towhead. I had very blonde hair all through my childhood and into my, as I got into my teen years, and then it kind of went a little bit darker, and then I dyed my hair brown, and I was brown from that brunette from that point forward. So I felt like I needed to stick with that color so it didn't raise any eyebrows. Nobody would suspect a thing. And I just didn't want to deal with, what people would think. I didn't even want to approach that. I didn't want to ask what people would think. And concerning my husband, like, he knew that I went there, but I never even talked about it to him. He's like, you went to a wig shop, you bought a few wigs, like, you know, but I never talked to him about my feelings. I never told him why. I never told him the worth, the value of them. And they were inexpensive, like they were on sale, but to him, he didn't understand the value of alternative hair. So I got both wigs for $100. They were on clearance, you know, and that's actually a pretty dang good deal. But to him, he's like, $100 on fake hair? What? Like,
I just know
like,
concept of what.
Honey, you have no idea. Like, anyway, but yeah, so it did make me feel so good. And I think it just, because of my personality and wanting to just accept myself, not only just, I feel like by talking about it, it was a way for me to heal. It was self-healing, while also maybe educating and inspiring somebody else. I felt like it was a win-win situation. And I think also reaching out on Instagram, my own, really, I didn't realize, I didn't know what wig reviewers were. I never watched YouTube. So like, I didn't know what a wig reviewer was. I didn't know any of that. My whole purpose of opening up that account was because I wanted to find people in similar shoes. I wanted to talk about it, and I wanted to talk about what had made me feel better, you know? And, and so that's what I did. And I feel like over time, I became more and more open and healed and empowered and happy about it. I was always happy, but just like embraced who I am, what I like, what I don't like, what works for me. And it just feels good. It feels good to get to that point. Have I reverted back sometimes to those old emotions? Yes. I think that's normal, because like, for instance, like a few years ago, we went on vacation, and I brought a few toppers and a few wigs, and some family members even realizing it, some things that were said kind of like brought me back to that, like, oh, like you want to cower down, kind of like, oh, I feel weird. I don't, you know, kind of like we were going swimming, and bless her heart, my sweet sister, it was like, why don't you just, out loud in front of everybody, it's like, why don't you just take out your wig and come out in the lake, come on. And I'm like,
people don't realize sometimes that other people don't want everyone to know, because they think
I might be open
they don't realize.
On my page, I might talk about it openly, but really, do we got to shout it out to the whole beach? Like, you know? And I remember feeling like, I felt like I was good to go. I felt like, oh, Amber is good. Like, she's confident in this. She feels fine. But there was that little part of me, that little twinge that felt insecure. And and then on that same trip, I was wearing a topper, and we were on a train, and they were like, come on out to this outside part of this train. The wind's blowing. Just hold on to your hair. You're fine. And the funny thing is, I must have been in a weird place because I think it can affect you differently depending on what's going on elsewhere in your life. Because that may have not have anything to do related to hair. I think I was in a very insecure place. I don't know. I always struggled like with my weight, and I had, you know, different things like that. And I remember just it struck me. I'm like, just stop talking about it. Like, stop making a big deal out of it. You know, who cares if it's fake or it's real? Quit talking about it. Yeah. And I remember like that being an kind of like myself reflecting on that. Like, okay, I thought I was good. I thought that I wasn't affected by this anymore. And it reminded me that I guess sometimes I am, you know. I love it. I love it so much. And I find so much joy in it. And I think even since that point, when that happened, I've grown even more and even more acceptance.
Like an endless journey.
Yeah, an endless journey, because I remember when I started my Instagram, I didn't add, you know how you can start an Instagram and then add like people you know to it.
Yeah.
You know, your contacts and stuff. I didn't add anyone I knew. I was like, they don't need to follow me. They don't care about wigs. I want to reach the people who actually care about this. And so I didn't add family. I didn't add neighbors. I didn't add anybody because that wasn't who I wanted to reach. And because I was weird about it. And so over time, I've discovered that like on my personal pages, on my personal Facebook page, my neighbors and people that see me on the daily, whether they know or not know, I'm like, it is what it is. This is what I do. I wear hair and I like it, you know, and that's just who I am. It's who I am. And there was a long time where I didn't talk about it in those settings. So.
And I can relate to that so much too. And I don't know if this is kind of what you were just describing, but a big thing for me was when I first started to be open about it, even though I was trying to get myself to a place where I could talk freely about it, I was still kind of uncomfortable seeing people's reactions. Because I feel like it would just make me feel a certain way. So I would almost sometimes use social media over time as a way to just let people know without having to tell them face to face.
Yeah.
So, okay, if I just post a bunch of pictures in different wigs, they'll get the gist.
They'll know. Yeah.
And then I don't have to like have that interaction that I wasn't comfortable with yet of having like that face to face.
Yeah. Or where you feel like you have to tell your whole backstory and why. Yeah,
for sure.
And people are curious. I think people are curious. And what I've also discovered that I thought I'd be judged, or I thought people would be like, what? You wear a wig, huh? But really, most people they're like, that's so cool. Like,
that was a big thing for me too.
They're like, oh my gosh, it's so fun. It's like, I want to do that. And
definitely.
So anyway,
it's really eye-opening to see that people they think it's cool. Like you get in your own head and think people are
you do,
but then in reality it turns out to be like a cool thing to talk about.
And I think that we create weirdness on like if we're weird about it. Like if we're weird about it and we're backward and we feel insecure and we feel like it's something to be ashamed of, people might react in that way, like, and they're like touchy about it. They walk on eggshells because of it. But if we come out and say, yeah, I wear hair, I love it, then they're going to react differently too, you know?
I've definitely
and they're like, oh, cool, yeah, that's great.
I definitely had to kind of change the way I told people about it, because I used to be like, oh, I have this really big secret to tell you. Like, that's how I used to tell people. And now I feel like it changes people's reactions for you to come right out and treat it like no big deal. See it that way as well.
And one thing I've learned too is over time, it's like, this is something that I do for myself to make me feel good. I like it. But and it's a comfort to be able to have that. It's so convenient. I have like 5 kids, so I got to tell you, I look better now dropping my kids off at school drop off than I ever have prior to wearing wigs. I remember going to drop off my kids back before 2011, and I thought, what is up with all these moms with their hair done? Like, I'm in pajamas with a ball cap. What is going on? And now I feel like I look presentable, and I'm like, now I'm that mom that people are like, who do you think you are waking up at 6 a.m. doing your hair? I'm like, no, you don't know what I'm doing. I slept in. It took 2 minutes to do this.
That is so
you
funny.
know, but
People think we spend hours doing this, but
uh-huh.
just wake up, put it on.
I can say it's like convenient for my family too, because they're not waiting for me to do my hair all night long. You know, like my husband or anybody is like, hey, we want to go get a bite to eat, and I'll be loafing around. Hold on, let me just go throw on some hair,
Okay,
you know?
let's go.
Let's go. Like my mother-in-law came over one time and my hair was wet. I'm like, I just got out of the shower. I put on a little bit of makeup and she came over and my hair was like, I was drying it. I'm like, give me 2 minutes. I went and put on a wig cap with my hair wet, came out with my hair like, you know, all done and dry. She's like, that is so not fair. Not fair.
How did you do that?
So
amazing.
I don't know if I can see comments if I do. I don't know. Am I not able to see comments? Oh,
I
maybe.
think they come up.
Oh,
I think they
shoot.
kind of get pushed back with it shows when people join. But yeah,
Oh,
if anyone's watching, if you have any Q&A questions, we're happy to answer them as they come up as well. But I think it might be a good time to start getting into the first of the 2 wig surprises. What do you think?
Oh, yes. I'm just talking up a storm and
oh no, I love it. Everything you're saying is so amazing, and I think it's also going to be really relatable and also helpful to a lot of people watching. So it's amazing.
I'm sorry, since I can't see any of the I can't see any of the comments. So if there's been anything at all, I'll have to look later, or you'll have to let me know, Abby, if there's something, I don't know.
Okay, yeah, I'll try to catch them as they come in. So if anyone commented any questions and we missed it, feel free to comment it again. We'll pick them up as they come through.
All right, so I have two. Do you want me to do? So this is one that I wanted to try, haven't tried yet, and then you have another
one of our existing styles from the Amore Collection. So if you want to open that one up, we'll start with that for starters.
Okay. So this one I picked out because one of the first wigs that I tried out from René Paris was the original Havana, and this is the Havana Mono. And so I wanted to check this style out. So the difference is the original has a part. Is that correct? A mono part.
I think there's actually a couple different versions that have come out over the years. There was one that had a fully machine cap. I believe there was one that had a partial mono, and then this one is full mono. Mono from the Amore.
Partial mono. That was the one that I tried, was the partial mono with the lace front. And this is the full mono. And I didn't even request any specific color. So this one is Melted Sunset Havana Mono. Should I try it on?
Yeah, absolutely.
Or should I not? You guys like, so I have my wig cap on. And this one that I'm wearing right here is Taylor, Noriko Taylor.
Yeah,
and it is, let's see. Sorry.
Yeah, no problem.
It is Marble Brown.
Marble Brown. Oh, this is Toasted Brown that I'm wearing now. I do have other wigs in Marble Brown.
Oh, you have Toasted Brown?
Yeah, I have Stevie from Amore and Toasted Brown. Yeah.
Oh, it's so pretty. I love it.
Thank you. I was gonna ask too if you wear wig caps too, so that makes sense because I don't wear wig caps.
Yeah.
On my head. So
I've been told by so many people when my hair gets really thin, they're like, just buzz it. And I haven't gotten to that point because I've always been a topper girl and, you know, blended my hair.
Decision too. So,
yeah. But I can say when I chop it, I feel that liberating feeling. And so the people who have talked to me, they're like, it just feels so freeing when you just let it go. But, you know, I haven't gotten to that point. And it seems like when I get to that point, then my hair starts, the shedding stops and it kind of starts filling in again. And so, yeah. And right now my hair is doing a little bit better. So anyway.
That color, oh, I love that color on you.
I know that like colors also, I've discovered it just depends on your makeup, your clothes, because people would be like, oh, you can wear any color, but I think that it just kind of depends on like how you pair it with the makeup.
Definitely.
And
I definitely do my makeup differently depending what hairstyle and color I have that day. So that looks amazing though. I love that short wavelength on you too.
Yeah, this is cute. I think the ring light is making the color actually look more look more yellow than it actually is, because here with me looking at it just in this mirror, it has kind of a peachy look to it. I don't know, but with the ring light and looking on on the video, I feel like it has a more yellow
A little
appearance.
bit more of a gold, yeah.
A goldy. Like it has gold in it, but I feel like it looks more so on the screen. But anyway, I love the waves and the length. It's
So
cute.
lovely. I love that. So for anyone not familiar, this is one of our melted colors, which kind of has like a gradient. So it kind of has like a darker root, and then in the middle it has like a medium tone, and then it gets lighter at the tips. So a melted sunset, yeah.
And so because this is lace front and mono, you can like part it every which way.
Yes. Oh, that looks so natural, that part.
Anyway, yeah, this is cute. Yeah, I do like a part when it just has a part, but when I can really work with a wig creatively and have that full mono, it's my cup of tea.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. I do love the double mono too, because the Stevie has that as well. I don't know if you can really see.
Oh yeah, I
But
love that.
most of the wigs from the Amore collection have either the double mono, or hand tied of some sort. So
Or I meant like a full, is that what I meant? Where it has, rather than just a part, has like a full area. I love that.
Yeah,
Either way.
monofilament caps.
Oh, okay.
Those are so fantastic. Yeah, those are from the Amore line. Most of the wigs in that collection have that cap construction. So it's really great for that super realistic looking part, and then being able to change.
I love that wig you have on. It is so cute. I've never tried that
one. It's one of my favorites.
It's so cute.
Thank you.
So should I open up this one?
Yeah, you want to go for the second one? Let's go for it.
Okay, I'm gonna take this off. Yeah, I usually wear I usually wear a liner like this or a mesh one. Sometimes I'll throw on a what is it called? A wig rip. Just kind of depends. All right, so this one is called Sage, is the name. And the color is Milky Opal R. I don't know what to expect. Well, the color is very pretty. Very pretty.
I love that.
I like the name too. The Sage.
Sage, yeah, that's great.
This is so pretty. Look at that.
Ooh,
That is
glad you like it. I believe that's a new color as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So the color, I'll just show everybody. So it's rooted. I don't know if you guys can tell in the thing. And it looks like, what is it? Like a medium to light brunette, I'm assuming. I'm guessing. It kind of looks more warm on the video though. Or on the camera. And then it looks like it's darker at the nape. This is so pretty, and I love the style and the wave. It is gorgeous. Okay, I'm gonna put it on.
I'm glad you like it so far. I'm so excited to see it on.
And you're gonna put on one too, right?
I have the same one, so I'll start pulling mine out.
Okay.
I have the same style and a different color too, so that's fun. We could see it in a couple different options. So I have Sage in Moonstone, which is kind of like the silver color.
Ooh,
so
pretty.
Nice on you. Wow. I'll switch mine too.
Yeah, this is I love this style. This is very pretty.
Goodness, that looks amazing. I love how fresh out of the box too. It just looks so perfect. But and I also love how you switched from brunette from the start of this to this like gorgeous, I guess it looks like blonde kind of, right?
Uh-huh.
It looks so good. That's a great color for you. Wow.
I've been wearing a lot of blondes lately, so I grabbed the tailor today, and it was actually kind of not a shock, but it was kind of like, oh, I'm a brunette today because I've been doing the blondes a lot. I like your color too. You can see how it has that gray tone in comparison to mine.
Yeah, kind of like that silvery, but then it still has the
silvery, yeah. And then this rooting is a lot warmer than your rooting.
Yeah,
they're so pretty. I love it.
This is actually my first time trying it on now too, so I'm super excited. I'll show the cap construction as well for anyone who is curious, but it is a lace front and middle lace part, like that.
Okay, middle lace part. I love that.
And then you also have a pretty good range too. So.
Oh yeah, that's so you can if you kind of wanted to switch it more to the left or right.
Yeah. And then for anyone not familiar with René of Paris lines, they're all adjustable caps as well. So you have the 2 adjustable straps on the back.
This is so pretty.
I'm so glad you like it. That looks so great on you. I'm loving this new style.
Yeah, so it looks like you have that like opaly color up here, and then kind of, I'll have to look at the color description, but like a darker down here, kind
It
of.
seems like a very dynamic color. I haven't seen that one
So
in
pretty.
person yet, but it looks so beautiful on the camera.
Here, I'll turn around so those who are watching can see what it looks like. Can you guys see?
Ooh, yeah, I can see. That looks so good. So nice and flowy.
Oh, it's gorgeous. I love it. I love it.
Now, do you have a favorite of the two that you opened? I know
I think I
it's
like
fun to
this
switch
one.
it up, but
I think, okay, so I love Havana. But I think as far as color goes, I think I like this color better. Um, I think maybe if I had a different, maybe this color is kind of clashing with the purple that I'm wearing.
Hmm.
I don't know, you know, I think with the right, I think this color would look really pretty with like greens.
Ooh, yeah, I definitely change my clothes based on which color I wear.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes certain colors just clash. They don't look very good. So I'll switch it up. If I'm doing a video or taking photos or something and I put on a shirt and I'm like, okay, this doesn't do this color or this style justice. It doesn't show it well. I'll switch it up. So I think with this one, it's actually very pretty. It's I love the way it melts and that peachy look to it. It's gorgeous. And it's really, really pretty. I think that it was just the way that these two are, this hair is looks really good with this and what I'm wearing.
Yeah,
And I don't feel like I don't feel like this looked good with what was going on here. And maybe that's why. But I'm funny about colors. People will be like, do you like blonde? Do you like reds? I'm like, I can't tell you what I like the best because it just depends. It changes every day.
Yeah.
So right now I felt when I put this on, it struck me more. The style, the color. I was more like, ooh, I feel good in this. You know?
I love
So
that. I feel like sometimes with a new color too, it takes some time to get used to seeing yourself with that color. It looks so good on you, the other one too. But sometimes you just have to like try out different makeup looks, different outfits, wardrobe pieces. But
definitely.
This one just fits your whole look today so perfectly. I love it.
Thanks. I love yours too. I'm really stoked that you guys sent me this one.
Yeah, I love it so much.
I love that this has like a little kind of wispy bang.
Oh yeah, it's kind of like a curtain bang thing.
It's
like really in style.
Up front. So. And then with the middle part that's kind of popular right now has this flowy, I don't know, wave. Oh, I just like it. So cute.
So the one question I did get from someone was about how to order these wigs. So just to clarify that for anyone watching. So what we do is we are like a wholesaler essentially. So if you want to find where to buy the wigs from a wig store, you can go onto our store locator on reneeofparis.com. And then somebody asked if they're synthetic. These are both synthetic. I think all the ones that we've showed in this video are synthetic. But we do have some human hair, especially in our Fair Fashion collection. So if you're looking for human hair, you can check out the Fair Fashion line. But most of our wigs are really nice quality synthetic. So
I love the simplicity and also convenience. I keep going back to convenience of synthetic. I love there's so many pros to human hair, but I tend to grab for synthetic a lot just because the style is there all the time and you wash it and you shake it and it dries that way and it doesn't react to the elements outside. It's so nice.
So effortless. Like I said before, I feel like if I had my own head of hair, I would be so lazy with it and it would probably look like a mess. So like synthetic just appeals to me, just to being able to just throw it on and not even think twice about it, and it just looks great.
Yeah. I tell people, like, even if there was some sort of miracle and somebody took a magic wand and gave me like great thick hair, which I've never had. So I can't take a pill or put on anything, put on a cap, use a serum that's going to give me hair that is different than I genetically have. I just have fine hair and it can do better. It can stop shedding. It can fill in a little bit, but it's never like this naturally. And so even if I did somehow have like amazing mermaid hair on my own, I would probably still reach for alternative hair just because of the convenience. Because like you, I don't think that I'm going to be styling my hair like this and blow drying it and curling it and doing all that on the daily.
Not to mention the color too, the amount of effort
Yeah, and
you
the
go into
color.
trying to get your own hair color like this or that. Like
It's expensive too to keep up with the on-trend colors, and you're always in the salon, and so yeah, keeping up with the colors, and then it's so damaging. If you wanted something like what you have on that wig and this, it's gonna fry your hair. And so I just think that it's I can't reiterate enough like how amazing and great it is.
yes, and that's going back to
So
what we were saying before, is how people, even people who don't experience hair loss, are kind of discovering wigs now because they're realizing that they can achieve hair like this effortlessly, not to mention the style and the color, without having to do it to their own hair. So someone also just asked what the name of this wig is, called Sage. And just to repeat the colors, this one is Moonstone and yours is Milky Opal, correct?
yes, yes. Milky Opal R, and you mentioned this one's a new color.
Yeah, so that's the new color. And this one we have in other styles as well, but I love it in this wig too. It's also fun to get to see them in both colors too.
Yeah, and it's good to see the difference too in them, because I think when you think, oh, okay, they're kind of both light, they're both, you know, I don't know, not blonde, but just in that lighter range.
Category.
So really, yeah, it really kind of shows you the difference where you have, where they're the different tones in that.
Yeah, it's like a whole different vibe. Just even if it's like a kind of slightly different color, it's just like interesting to see how it looks different. And it will be released in a bunch of other colors as well on reneeofparis.com, and you can see all the different colors that will be available in this wig as well. And again, it is lace front and lace part too.
And it looks really good, if you guys can see that. You can see my
really
cap.
Shot of it there. That looks great.
Yeah, you can kind of see my cap right there, which I need to move forward and kind of adjust, but it looks great.
Yeah, it looks so good. Awesome.
Anyway,
now, before we end the live stream, I want to ask, is there any advice that you would give to anyone who's just starting to experience hair loss or feels like they're secretive about it in a way that I think we both used to be? Is there any advice you would give to someone who's struggling with that?
You know, it's hard because everybody's situation is different, and also like where they are emotionally, mentally. I think that I've talked to people in the community who they watch those who are clear over here. They're rocking their bald head, out in the public. They're almost like they're so just healed and over it and embracing it that it almost makes those who are on this side they almost feel like, well, why am I not feeling that way? Why don't I feel at ease? Why don't I feel that freedom? I want to feel that. What's wrong with me? One thing that I want people to know is it's okay to be where you are. Like, it's okay to feel those feelings. It's okay. You don't have to compare where you are where the next person
Absolutely.
is. Like, you don't have to be where you're walking around flaunting your wig and ripping it off at Walmart. Like,
And you never even have to get to that point if you don't want to.
You don't have to. And you don't have to wear a different color every day. You don't have to do that. You can wear what you'd wear if your hair was like when you lost it, or what you feel like is your hair, your color, your style. Wear it every day. If that's what makes you feel like just at peace, and you feel content, and it makes you feel good, and it makes you just all those good feelings, then do it that way. I don't think there's a wrong or right way, and you don't have to just scream it to the world like me. Like, for me, opening up my page and sharing it, that's what helped me, because that's my personality, like talking about things, being open, and expressing my feelings. I feel like that's what helps me get over those hurdles, I guess.
Yeah.
And just being vulnerable, opening up and being vulnerable and transparent, I think it can open up the doors for judgment and that, especially on social media. But at the same time, for me, it helped me just grow and accept myself, and also like reach out and learn about other people who also like taught me so much. And so I think that, like, no, you don't need to open up an account and scream it to the world if that's not you. If you want to quietly have your journey, wear your hair, and you feel good in it, do it, you know?
Yeah.
If that's who you are, and you like to keep it to yourself, then do that. If you're feeling those raw feelings right now, but you want to be here, but this is where you are, that's okay. Like, feel your feelings, get there. It's like, I feel like it's stepping stones, and you don't need to be where they are right now. And it's okay to feel those feelings. It's okay to be at that point. And nobody should ever make you feel like you're, because loss is loss. Like, you lose your hair, you lose something else in life. Like, nobody can tell you like how quickly to get over it, how quickly to move on, like how quickly, and how to function, and how to make it better. Like, it's all so individual. And that's what I try to be like mindful of, because what works for me ain't gonna work for everybody else, but I hope that what works for me and how I feel may help somebody. So I think just embrace where you are and accept yourself where you are, and know that over time it will get better. And just be open too. That's another thing, is just be open about what's out there. Try things, and not, you might learn that there is something that will be your solution.
Definitely.
So
something I wanted to add to that too is that there are so many people on social media who do seem like they're so open about it. It's also good to remember that a lot of those people had a phase where they weren't as open about it, and it probably took them a lot of time to get to a point. And then we both mentioned we both used to be very secretive about our hair loss and wig wearing, so it takes a lot of time to get to that point. So no one should ever feel like they are doing it wrong if they're not there yet. And it's okay if you never want to get to that point. If you wanted to keep it personal, or if you want to talk about it, both are totally valid ways to do it.
Yeah, just like that quote. I'm probably not even saying it correctly, but it's like, don't ever compare your like page 1 to the next person's, or chapter 1 to the next person's chapter 25. Like, you know, never compare in all aspects. Just don't compare. Like, your journey, your story, your situation is all yours, and focus on that. So
100%. And someone else in the comments said it took me 20 years to get to that point. So yeah, we're all on different journeys. Yeah, and ultimately it's like we can all be here for each other on social media, even if it's someone who wants to kind of like look at accounts that wear wigs but not interact because they just don't even want to have like that on their social media profile because they're that secretive about it. That's totally fine too. Yeah, all of the above. And someone else asked a question before that I'll quickly touch on as well. You're probably the better one to answer this, because I haven't had much experience with toppers because I've pretty much always been completely bald. But someone asked, did it take you time to get used to switching from toppers to wigs, or was it an easy transition?
Well, like I tried wigs first.
Oh, right.
You know, so I had tried out like the basic cap wigs in 2011 and didn't discover a topper until I was researching them in the end of like 2015, bought one and started wearing it at the beginning of 2016, then started my account. And the topper I loved, because I was for the most part wearing hats and extensions with hats. So then I paired the topper, rather than a hat on top, I put the topper on top with my extension. And I like to do this type of thing where I'm like, oh my gosh, I can part it. Oh, that's what I could do with my topper, you know, and pull it back. And I had my own bio hair up front. And so just blending my bio hair with it and pulling it back like this. And I would do braids and all sorts of things and pull it up half up. And I was beyond blown away. Like I had never experienced that type of thing.
Option too.
Yeah, because even the wigs that I had prior to that I hadn't experienced that. And so at that point I was like, oh, I'm going to just do toppers. Why would I put on a wig? Like, I can wear my hair. And then I started doing the wigs again, doing both. And there was a time too where, like, if my hair ever got really bad, I wouldn't wear toppers because it was too hard to blend. And just looked too stringy and didn't do well. So I like going back and forth in between. I find that toppers are really nice in the summer if I'm able to, and my hair's doing okay, because it feels lighter. I can wear it up in a ponytail and updo and use my biological hair underneath. And so there are some pros to that. But I would say I usually, for the most part, because I've gotten lazy, I'll say it, I've gotten lazy when it comes to hair. I grab wigs. because it's so easy. It's
just so easy. Just throw it on. You don't have to worry about blending it, I guess.
I love the change in colors. Now that there was a time, like I said, I only wore brunettes. Then I tried a blonde, and I was like, oh my gosh, I was blonde most of all my childhood, and it was weird going back to blonde. And my kids, I remember the first time I put on a blonde, it was 2017 or 18. They came home. It was on Valentine's Day. I got sent a blonde, and they came home and saw me wearing it, and they're like, oh, now they don't even like bat an eye if I'm wearing a different style or color because they're so used to it. But they were like, you're not a blonde, Mom. I'm like, I was blonde my whole life. I was born blonde. What are you talking about?
That's so funny. I guess as long as they knew you were brunette, so
that's
all they know of you.
And that's how my husband was too. He's like, you're not a blonde, because they were all used to me being this one person. And then I tried a red, and I love the reds. So I think the wigs, because now I've embraced the change that you can have. I like the change. I like the chameleon. I like all that. To me, it's so fun. And so the convenience and the changes and the choices, I think I grab wigs more than toppers, really. I do. I don't know if I answered that question right. I went off on
no, that was definitely great.
with that, but
for someone who has only tried toppers and hasn't really done wigs yet, maybe there might be some concern about the transition between them. So
yeah, I think if you want to keep it like simple and you want your topper and hair look to look like a wig look, like you want it to, like say you go to work and you don't want to, you want to wear both, but you want it to look similar. Just staying within that color range, that style, that length range. Even if one's straight, one's curly, people change that up, with their own hair. I think it's easy. I think it's fine. People could do that if there's a day that they just don't have time. Because with a topper, you do have to style your bio hair to match whatever you're doing with your topper. And especially if it's a human hair topper, you're styling both. So,
and just to add, the person also was concerned, they expressed concern about the wig slipping. So I'll touch on that really quick as well, is that if a wig fits you properly, like I said before, they are adjustable on the inside. As long as it fits you properly, you shouldn't have to worry about it slipping. I personally don't even wear a wig cap or anything because I am pretty much totally bald underneath. And for me, I feel like if a wig fits me properly, I would like shake my head, do cartwheels, and I feel like it's not a problem. Is there anything, because I don't really wear wig caps, is there anything you do differently wearing a wig cap to make sure it feels secure, or you do feel the same way about it?
I feel like for me, my head's average, so I wear average in pretty much all wig brands and everything. So I've never had issues with the wig slipping or sliding or feeling too tight and wanting. There are some, I can say, okay, so I'm average, so I guess if there's some styles that are run more petite, sometimes I'll put those on and I'll have to sometimes adjust a little bit up here. But if I'm doing something that's extremely active, I'm going to an amusement park or just something like that where I'm worried it's a really windy, or I don't know, I just want it to stay put and I don't want it to shift or anything, I'll use like walker tape or adhesives, or like got to be glued up at the front, with regardless of what type of wig it is, and that just will help me to feel more secure. But I do know like wig grips, that velvety material, that can also help keep it more like grippy and in place. But because I think, like you said, having a wig that fits you properly, usually with a ready to wear type wig, with like these ones, they should just fit nicely and stay
automatically.
And
it is a great option for someone who's brand new to wigs. If you do have the option, it's really nice to be able to go into a wig store to try out different options and speak to a wig professional about what works for you. Unfortunately, not everyone has that option, so ordering online obviously works for a lot of people as well. But if you do have the option, it is nice to have that in-person guidance sometimes too.
Yeah, and I know a lot of the wig shops that are online, they'll do like consultations, they'll do, I don't know for certain what all of them offer, but I know that some you can contact them, and especially for new wig wearers, ask for advice, and also just being involved in the not so much involved if you don't want to be, but like adding yourself to the community, following and seeing those tips and tricks that many wig wearers share, that can be really enlightening for those who are new, because I think there's just so much information out there. Like, granted, I think that there are so many people out there and so much so many opinions that there can be like what's the word, differing information, if that makes sense. So but one thing that I try to tell people is it's like, just like with everything else, the whole comparison thing, it's kind of like you do what works for you.
Yeah.
Like
Exactly.
you do what works for you, you know?
Definitely.
And you discover that over time. So getting into it at the very beginning, like you don't have to feel like you need to know everything or have everything or have it all figured out right at the beginning. Like it's that also is a journey, discovering what works for you. So
100%. This has been so amazing having you here. I feel like you've shared so much valuable information. I'm sure anyone watching this probably got so much from that. And for anyone who is watching that maybe came in at the end and missed the beginning, all of our live streams do get saved to our IGTV on René of Paris. So if you ever want to go back and rewatch a certain part of this that you just want to review, or if you missed something in the beginning, you can always find it on our IGTV as well. But thank you so much again for joining. This has been incredible. Are there any other like closing details you want to add? Just closing words?
I don't know. I'm just grateful to be here. I'm honored that you guys allowed me to hop on this live with you guys.
We're honored to have had you here. This has been so fantastic.
Thank you. I don't know. I'm just grateful. I'm just grateful to be part of this and to have it part of my life. And the thing I've just discovered that, and I know this with a lot of people in their life, whether it be, you know, wig wearing, alopecia, or other trials, tribulations in their life, something that may have been an insecurity in their life. Over time, sometimes you discover that it ends up being like such a growing experience and a way to like develop yourself. And I can say that this and discovering the community and sharing myself and all of the things that have come along with it have been, to me, like a blessing in my life, and I'm just grateful for it. So
yeah.
I want to thank those who like follow me and support, and if I ever find out that anybody has been impacted for good, not only is it like I'm like, really, like that helped you, thank you so much. It's just, you know what I mean, like it feels good to know that maybe something that I put out there has helped somebody. Definitely. And because at the end of the day, that's what I want to do. And so thank you to anybody, and thank you to you guys for allowing me to be here and share my story and just be part of it.
Yeah, thank you for sharing your story. And I'm sure every time you post, I'm sure there's people getting so much from that. And I'm sure there's a lot of people watching this right now that got a lot from your story as well. So thank you so much for coming on here and sharing it with us. I appreciate it. Yeah. All right. And thanks so much for watching, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your week and your weekend. All right. Thank you. Bye, guys. Bye, everyone. See ya.